Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mr. Optimistic. Today, we are talking about volume. Volume, powers, pulls, all the works. Because, man, this week was rough. We barely squeaked it out. A lot of misses happened, not going to lie. But the training capacity is building up, thankfully, and the way everything's programmed, it's really progressing a whole lot. I'm getting under weights that I haven't been able to hit previously, which is always a good sign. And everything just feels and looks more crisp, So I'm very happy about that. For me, it feels like progress comes in clumps. For me, it's essentially maybe 1 week. There's a lot of good improvements. The body feels great. Momentum builds, and I'm just kind of killing it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Fantastic. I can't believe it. Everything's finally coming to. So when that happens, you just got to really relish in those moments and just try to carry that momentum to the next week, because like this week, it's rough. It was really, really rough. I felt like I was doing like CrossFit a little bit. There's just so much volume that we have to adapt to at heavier percentages, and that just takes a while to get through. And for me, at least, I thrive under like 3 rep maxes, doubles, heavy singles, 5 sets of 1. That's something where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be easy. It's great. Because if you don't know, in Olympic weightlifting, you only have 6 attempts to get a total. And that's gonna be your total, hopefully to keep you to win. But usually, maybe during the competition, you take maybe like 12 to 15 reps, and then you get to your first attempt. So, but I digress. That's for another video. But this volume is stressful. It is definitely stressful. I had to change what I eat in the morning. I got some weight gainer, which is funny, taking weight gainer while you're cutting weight. But for me, it's 1 big giant scoop, about 8 to 11 ounces of chocolate milk, and just blend that up, and then boom, hit the road. And by the time I get to the gym, everything's pretty much settled. Not too heavy, just light enough for me to feel energized still, and to also just complete that volume. And usually I make about, I would say 15 ounces total, and I pretty much sip that through my workout. So that kind of just feels like it just fuels me as I just keep going. So that seems to be working as of right now. So I'll keep you posted if anything else changes. But for me personally, I just like eating pretty light, and I would say not being bogged down by food. So usually that might be some eggs and whatnot, but I changed it up this month and decided to hit that protein life. Just get some weight gainer in and just kind of keep it coasting. So for me, when I talk about capacity or just gearing up your training capacity, for me at least, that means a lot of volume, and percentages are around 75 to around 88%. And that was a funky weird power. Yeah. Anyways, so you would want to at least understand that you got to warm up a little bit more, because you're going to be lifting for a bit. For me, I try to limit my rest between like a minute to a minute 30. The reason why I do that is because during competitions, you literally have a minute to take your second attempt. And that second attempt is minimum around 95, if not 100%, depending on how you're moving or how you take your attempts or how your coach, strategizes at that point. So that's why I take, or at least try to take around like a minute and a half, and then just go. Sometimes that doesn't work out, and you just need a little bit more rest. But as long as you're actively trying to pace yourself, then that'll definitely you'll reap the benefits immensely when you get to training, or when you get to competing. Because if you're used to that minute and a half break time, then when someone takes an attempt a little bit higher than you, which basically pushes you quicker, and that eliminates your possible 2-minute rest time to about a minute. And at that time, you won't be surprised. You won't be like, oh shoot, I wasn't ready for, panic. That's not going to happen. you'll be ready to go, your body will be rested, and you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm up in about 30 seconds. So at that point, your body will be adapted to it, because hopefully you've been doing that for months at a time and your body's not too shocked or too gassed out. So that's something I would say for the last 2 months, I've been actively doing that. I use an app called Strong. It's on iOS and it should be on Android as well, but it does have a built-in timer. So you can just set it for like a minute 30, and 2 minutes. So you can also increase it by 10 seconds. So that's pretty cool. So for me, I personally it's a love-hate relationship, mostly love the high volume training, because that really tests if your technique will hold up. It's really easy, to be honest, to bang out maybe 3 sets at 3 reps at around 80-85%. You're not really that tired, you're just kind of focusing on moving the weight right correctly, but there could be a little things that would be exposed if you increase that set range to around 6 reps by 2 at around like 80-85%, because around set 5 your body's like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, we're supposed to be done, we're supposed to be going to back squats or doing some other movement, you gotta give me more rest. But at that point, that's where you really understand, like, oh, my technique's pretty good, it's not too bad. Or you just need to kind of go back to the drawing board, critique a couple of things. And that pretty much is the reason why I always recorded myself, even before I started posting on YouTube, because I really just try to reanalyze all the lifts that I do, and going back to the ones I missed and the ones that felt really amazing, and try to break down the differences, like, oh, why did I do that? Like, why was that miss, like, why did that miss feel good? Everything felt good, but missing it. So I was just going back to some of the lifts where they were very, very close, and pretty much slowing it down. And usually, for me personally, if I'm gonna miss a snatch, it's always gonna be in front of me as I step forward in the video right there. So that's always something where I always had to emphasize the extension and whip myself under the bar so it gets caught right in my midline, and I just stand up. It's, if you say it like that, it sounds very simple, but that is something that really gets exposed, at least for me, around higher volume and or heavier maxes. So that's kind of what I like volume. It's a good thing to be humbled from time to time, and not be humbled during the competition because you want to just smash during the competition, but humbled in training so you can critique and plug those holes that might be in your technique, like that one. And you want to make sure that when you get to a competition, everything is as perfect and as consistent as you can be, because that's exactly why we train. And that's exactly why we do the heavy volume. So if your body's tired, you understand, okay, when I'm tired, emphasize this, emphasize getting extension, emphasize pulling yourself under, and then stick in the snatch or stick in the clean and jerk. So slow it down, focus a little bit more, and that is gonna help you PR. Alrighty guys, so that's my thought on volume and the efficiency that hopefully you will build during the high volume training phase. Just eliminate those misses and make sure to plug any holes that are exposed during that time with your technique. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video, comment down below, let me know what's your range and is considered high volume for you, because typically, if you're a weightlifter, it's a little more than 3 reps. Alrighty guys, so I'll see you next time.